Hey Gemini, Dark Dove Tarot here. Hope you're doing fantastic. This is your February 2019 reconciliation read. If you saw my announcement, great. If not, I've split up the singles and anybody looking to reconcile. So before, my channel was always about singles and reconciliation, and I'd read the card for both groups, but I've decided to split it into reads. So it may seem a little shorter than usual, but that's obviously because you're not watching each other's read as well. So let me know what you think. Hopefully you like it, and then I'll continue. If not, I can easily switch back to the old read, but I just thought, you know, you might like a read dedicated for you, just like the singles. So I haven't gotten couples reads out. I'm hoping at some point I'll get to that, but like I've always said, anybody looking to reconcile and people who are single are generally the people who watch my reads, reach out for private reads, etc. So let's see what's going on for reconciliation for Gemini for February 2019. Always keep in mind this is a general read. So check your sun, moon, and rising. Some months you might get a little more clarity. Hopefully this resonates with the majority of you. But again, some months you'll get more clarity by watching those signs. Any likes, subscribes, comments, etc. greatly appreciated. If you want a private read, it's in the description below. I reiterate that just because I get emails daily asking about private reads, and it is in the description below. And if for some reason I forgot it, it will be in the video next to it. All right, so let's see what's going on for Gemini for reconciliation. See what you're thinking, what they're thinking, what's coming, what's going. Woo, 2 more cards, and then we'll pull the theme of the month, and we'll get started for Gemini, February 2019. All right, pull your theme of the month, and let's get moving here. Hope you guys are fantastic. Can't believe it's February already, and it's Valentine's month, which I always am interested in how people feel about Valentine's, because when I talk to people, different people, it's so mixed. Some people love it, some people loathe it. I mean, some people have strong opinions about it. So anyways, interested to know what everybody thinks about Valentine's Day. I guess a lot of people, depends on whether you're with somebody or not, to some people. All right, so your theme of the month is judgment, and somebody else got this. I want to say it's Taurus, but I can't remember. But judgment is basically looking back, meditating, reflecting, but not in a way of going, he should have done this, or she should have done that, or I should. This is more of a really looking back and saying, you know, what happened here, or what, going forward, what things would I like to change in our relationship if we do reconcile, or if we did get back together. What could I have done differently? What could they have done differently? But not in a negative, he should have or she should have. Like I said, this isn't pointing fingers judgment. This is a, where did we go wrong? Where did we get off track? Where did we lose the chemistry? Or when did we stop, showing the emotion or doing date nights? You get my drift. The first card you have is your current position coming into the month, and you have the Wheel of Fortune. So you're about to have some sort of divine timing moment. This is also a destiny. This is an unplanned change, but it is, again, a destiny situation. So divine timing. So I feel like if you're thinking about reconciliation, either it's going to hit like really quick, some sort of communication will be coming in, or it's going to be completely broken. We'll see what happens in the read, but this again is like a 360. It's either coming back together and giving it another chance, and it just wasn't the time before, but now it is your time. There's some sort of karmic energy at play here, or it's time for you to move on completely, have a clean break, and move into a different future. So let's see what the rest of the cards say, and we'll be able to figure out a little better. All right, how you're feeling coming into the month is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is somebody who's very calm, almost like a counselor, somebody who's listening. So this is you kind of like either saying, I wish they would talk to me. I wish we could communicate, and they would just understand how I'm feeling, or it's almost like you feel like they're not understanding what's going on here, or they're not understanding how you're feeling, or what your needs are that you're feeling weren't being met, or there's some sort of like neglect here. I can't explain it. It's almost like you kept saying, this is super important to me, and they did. I feel like some of you are dealing with a narcissist. Like it was all about what they needed, what they wanted, what they cared about. They weren't paying attention to what you needed. Or let's say, something would happen and they think about themselves in the situation instead of you guys as a couple, or about you. Or let's say if you were sick, there was always a reason that they were worse off. I can't explain it. I feel like this one-upping a lot, that some of you are in a relationship or dealing with somebody who, and you're just kind of like, if they want to be with me, they're going to need to understand that I have needs. I have wants that, you know, I'm not going to sacrifice those, because again, and maybe counseling, you may be like, hey, we're going to go to counseling. It could be marriage counseling that's needed, or whatnot, because again, the King of Cups does represent, you know, a counseling type situation. So maybe you're seeking counseling, maybe they are, maybe you'll both seek counseling, etc. Or that may be the only way to reconcile, is to actually go and have somebody mediate between you guys. The next card you have is your distant past. So over the past 5-10 years, could be, you know, throughout childhood. And you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is Taurus's card, so you could be dealing with a Taurus. But which is interesting, because I said I think that the Judgment came out for the Taurus as a theme as well. But the Hierophant is about, it's a holiness, it's an otherness, it's a spirituality. So it's very much about like letting the universe kind of take the wheel. I also almost get like a passed away vibe, like somebody maybe passed away this month, or you've been thinking about somebody who passed away this month, or maybe an ex passed away or a parent passed away, and you're kind of wishing you had the mom or dad or this person to talk to, because I feel like you feel like you're almost like nobody's like listening, or nobody understands what you're going through, or nobody understands what you're thinking about. Not only this person, this past partner, this person you're thinking about reconciliation, but like also you're missing having somebody to talk to. I feel like you've got bottled up emotions that you really need to get off your chest, and this is you kind of wishing maybe this person was around, or maybe, you know, maybe it's not even a death that happened, maybe it's a friend or somebody that you're estranged from now, and you're kind of like, man, they would have known what to do. Something in here about reminiscing, but also I feel like this is the universe's way of saying, hey, you know, let me take control. I get this card a lot together, these cards a lot together, and always is like the universe take the wheel, or the universe drive the situation. So again, not controlling a situation that you have no control over, and just saying, okay, you know what, like I'll just pray to you, and you move the pieces in the direction they need to go. The next card you have is your immediate past, over the past 2 weeks, past a month or two. So that's interesting. I feel like, did they communicate with you, or did you communicate with them? Did one of you feel like there was an opportunity here to get back together, or did somebody make the first step and somebody else didn't? Is there still judgment here that's hindering it? Because the Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning. It's an opportunity. It's a potential here. So I feel like maybe in the past few weeks, maybe you've been seeing an opportunity to get back to this together, or you've been entertaining a possibility of getting back together with this person. Maybe something happened, they were dishonest, maybe there was infidelity, etc., and you've cut it off completely, to where you're like, no, I can't do this. But you've been looking back and reminiscing, and meditating about it, and maybe you're starting to feel like you could see a new beginning, or you could possibly see yourself giving this person another chance, again, because this Ace of Pentacles is definitely a new beginning, a new opportunity. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months, and you have the Three of Wands. This card has been showing up a lot in reads. So the Three of Wands is actually interesting, because this is about planning and goals, but it's a togetherness. This is a teamwork or partnership. So in the future, I feel like there is a good chance you guys could reconcile. I know I said it could go either way with the wheel, but I feel like there's a good chance you guys could reconcile, because this is working together as a partner, this is teamwork. But I feel like you need to be heard in order for this to happen. It may be vice versa. Maybe they need to be heard. But I feel like, Gemini, that you really need to stress the importance of the things you want. I feel like there is some sort of opportunity, if it hasn't already presented itself, that you guys will have some sort of communication coming through. This is just a decision on, where are we going to go together? Where do we see this happening? So even though I do feel like there could be reconciliation here, you guys need to be still looking towards the same future. Somehow you got off track here. Somehow it went from, we love each other, we want to get married, we want to possibly move in together, we maybe want kids, we maybe want to adopt, whatever the scenario is for you, it derailed somewhere. And now you guys are saying, where can we go? What does this future hold for us as a couple? The next card you have is your immediate future over the next few weeks, and that throughout February. And that's interesting. Who was it? Was it Capricorn got this card? So maybe you're connecting with a Capricorn, but Very interesting. I love this because Taurus was the, and Taurus energy all over here too. Very interesting because Taurus was the only other sign so far that has gotten their card and their read. And I always feel such a strength when your card shows up. And obviously, Gemini, this is your card. There's always such strength here because it means you are in the moment. It means you are fully encompassed in what it is you want. You're connecting with yourself on the utmost level of like organicness. Now, the lovers being here, I feel like this may say that you guys may come together. There may be a lovers type energy, like a lustful, like a coming together, hitting the sheets, so to speak, and not for everybody, but for some of you, it's more of a physical type nature. And then you move into this, okay, we've had some problems. Where do we see ourselves? Do we really want to get together? So I hate to say this, but this may come back together as almost like a I miss you too, let's get back together. And then, things get hot and heavy really quick. And then decisions need to be made in the future about where are we going? Can we see each other? Can we see ourselves as a team in making this happen? Or do we need to go our separate ways? But I do feel like this is the best card you could get right now because it's definitely, I feel like you're forgiving something or you're letting go of something. You're letting go of this energy. And you're just saying, look, if it's meant to be, if this is divine timing, then it's divine timing. And the lovers, again, represents you guys as well as a duality. That connection is still very much alive between you guys. But there's some things that need to be forgiven. And I feel like the opportunity for you to take the next step in forgiveness is definitely here. And you may have no choice because they may be coming in and going, look, I love you. I know you love me. Like, what are we doing? I know there's been some bad stuff, but where are we going? Like, we should be together. So where are we going? Some of you very strongly feel that. And some of you, your ex feels that kind of like, what are we doing here? Why are we not moving forward? The next card you have, that's very interesting though. That's why I said I think it may move fast into a certain situation. Like the physical, the attraction is still there, but the developing in the relationship needs to be there because you have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups this is what's going to happen throughout the month of February. This is a dissatisfaction, a stagnation. So this is feeling like it's not moving fast enough, which is interesting because I feel like it will move fast in the physical, or it could move fast. Communication comes fast, but then actually moving back into coupledness is not moving that fast. Like you're going to feel like, well, we got together and we still attracted to each other and we still love each other and we still care about each other. But then you're like, well, why aren't we moving straight into, and it may be them feeling this way. It could be both of you. But somebody's feeling like, okay, I thought we loved each other. I thought we talked about it. I thought we were communicating a little bit, but why aren't we moving forward? Like, why aren't we going in the direction of, like, why aren't we talking about what we were before about getting married and doing, like, you want to pick up where it left off, and it just may not move in that direction the way you want. The only other opposite on this that I'm getting here is that for some of you, they're communicating with you, they're telling you they love you, and then nothing's happening. And, like, maybe they're just texting you, I love you, I miss you, and you're like, and? What are we doing here? Where are we going? And so it's like they're communicating with you, but you almost might feel like they're stringing you along because there's no forward momentum. But again, this could last for a day in a month. Maybe there's a day that goes by that they're kind of stepping back or they seem quiet or something, and you're going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought we were both in this. I thought we both agreed like we were heading forward. So again, this could just be like a day of doubt, so to speak. The next card you have is your feelings throughout the month, how you're going to feel. Good. Again, it could be beginning, middle, end. And you have the Three of Pentacles. So, all right, this tells me that for some of you, there was a situation of infidelity, or there was a situation of shadiness, or there was another person involved, not necessarily on your end. I feel like it's more on their end, but there was something that you were worried about, because the Three of Pentacles can be a third party situation. And so, but again, this is mentally, internally, and I feel like these might tie together. Like there may be a doomsday this month where you're like, wait a minute, now you're being quiet. Are you disappearing again, or what's going on? And you're thinking, oh, it's because they have somebody else, or they're talking to somebody else. So just be careful with this energy, because this card actually is about teamwork. It's about, you want a partnership. You want, somebody to have teamwork with, but without a third party involvement. And so I feel like for some of you, at some point, there may have been a third party, or it doesn't even have to be a third person. It could be a lie or something that wasn't, they weren't being outright. I mean, it could even be like a drug addiction that was kept secret. But whatever it is, for some reason, it's going to worry you a little bit. And you're going, man, all I want is this. All I want is the growth, a partnership. I thought we were a team, but I think this is going to be like a blip in the month. And I don't think it's going to be necessarily what you think it is. I think this is based on past indiscretions or things that have happened in the past with this person, that immediately when something feels off, you shoot into this kind of like paranoid, worried about the situation, which rightfully so, because some of you have a reason to feel that way. All right, the next card you have is your hopes and fears, and that makes perfect sense going along with these two right here. This is a Three of Swords. This is pain, devastation, heartbreak. Again, this is a fear. This isn't actually what's going to happen. This is how you're feeling. The fear is you're going to get your heart broken again. Now, I feel like if it's divine timing and the universe is bringing it in with the Wheel of Fortune in this, you should ride it out and see, how it goes. However, I do think you should have your guard up a little bit. And it's interesting because the singles have their guard up quite a bit, single Geminis. And since I've split these reads this month, it's very interesting to see how aligned Gemini as a sign is regardless of their situation, because I've seen a lot of similarities. And I'm not even doing the read, so it's not even like the cards and the shuffling, because these reads are being done. I'm doing single, 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 reconcile, 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 reconcile. So you actually came after another reconciliation read. But anyways, my whole point with this is heartbreak and having a wall up, and very rightfully so, Gemini, because I feel like there was a nasty separation at some point, and you don't want it to be just about the physical connection. There needs to be a future that you can both see, or it's not going to work. All right, now your outcome for this month for reconciliation is the Page of Wands. All right, so the Page of Wands, again, is communication, some sort of spark. So I feel like there was communication the past few months, and then it disappeared or cut off, or you cut it off. Somehow it didn't last. But now the Page of Wands, the outcome is there is some sort of spark. You are going to be like, okay, I will give this a chance. You will still have your guard up. Now, not to throw a wrench in any of this, but a lot of times when I see the Page of Wand, this is spark, curiosity, confidence. A lot of times when I see the Page of Wand, it's somebody else sparks your interest. So Gemini, even though you have this strong connection and you love this person, there may be some past hurt here. There may be some that you were so hurt before that looking forward, it may be time to move in a different direction. It may be somebody else sparks your attention and you're just like, I'm gonna have to decline on having a relationship because I'm not feeling secure in it with you. But I love you. I do have a connection, but it may be time for some of you to move on. It may just be that you went through too much heartbreak and you're not willing to be in a relationship where you're feeling like a paranoid energy, or where you're feeling like they could hurt you again. Now you have the Star card, which is Aquarius's card. So you definitely have a hope, a faith that this could happen, okay? You definitely have. So what this represents to me, Gemini, is regardless of whether it's this person or somebody else, the hope is alive inside of you. You know eventually you're going to meet your shining star. You know eventually what your self-worth is. Well, not eventually what your self-worth is. You know what your self-worth is, and it's taken you a while to get there. And so I feel like you're at peace in either situation. Either you're scared to get heartbroken, you don't feel secure with this person, and you're going to move on, or there is potential here. It's just going to take a little time to build up that confidence. I feel like immediately I thought, hey, with this Lover's card, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful. But for some of you, if I'm being completely honest, Gemini, I feel like it's going to feel that way. And then I feel like it may flow back into exactly where you came from. So I'm really feeling 50-50. And I know some of you aren't going to like that at first. I saw this Lovers and I saw this and I thought, but now this energy is like, this heartbreak, some of you endured such a strong heartbreak that the only way to come out of that is to seek a different star, is to have a break. And for others of you, it's the opposite. For others of you, this is the person that you want to be with. Oh, Gemini, but I hate to say that. I really feel like for some of you, you're going to get back together and you're going to think things could move in a direction that you want, and history repeats itself and you end up needing to move on. Now, your distant future here is the Hermit, and it's the clarifying card for the distant future, which is Virgo's card. So you could be dealing with a Virgo. You have a lot of people showing up here. You could be dealing with a Virgo, but the Virgo is, the Hermit is a wise card. This is somebody who goes within, the kind of silence, kind of solitude, and really focuses on themselves and what they want. So I'm going to clarify this again, because for some of you, Gemini, like I said, I really do feel like this, you're going to have this reconnection with this person, but it's not going to be satisfying. It's going to be dissatisfying. It's not going to move. I feel like maybe they're going to tell you what they think you want to hear, but then you're going to discover that you're in a position of possibly getting your heart broken again, and you may just decide that's it, it's divine timing, and to cut it off. And now you're going within and you're doing solitude to really focus on what it is you want with a partner, with somebody moving forward. And what's interesting is, even if you do cut this off, or even if you do decide, there's somebody else waiting to come in. So I don't think it's going to be a negative. I think it's just, you might be at a point where you absolutely need to make a decision, because you're not willing to sit on this anymore. You're not willing to think about it or worry. Yeah, see, you're not willing to think about it or worry about it anymore. You have the Two of Swords. It's a decision. It's time to make a decision, Gemini. Either you love them wholeheartedly, and you know, and you're going to have to accept the fact that it may not change, that they may not change, unfortunately. They may not change, and you're going to have to be willing to accept that, or not accept it, because the Two of Swords says now's the time to make a decision. Now's the time. I think you might get back together with this person and you love them very much and there's a strong connection, but I feel like this may be your last connection. And then the timing will come and you'll meet somebody else. Maybe you'll connect back with this person, but somebody else comes in and it just pushes you in the direction of finally cutting this off. Because again, this Two of Swords is a decision. It's if you don't make a decision, you'll be in a stalemate, which to me means you'll end up in the same situation that you got out of before, or that you weren't happy with before. So, all right, Gemini, take that as you will. I wish you the best. Have a great month.